Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Alex, and we are back with another reaction video once again. And this isn't actually a special request from my good friend Mal, who basically told me about a certain YouTuber that I may have watched on YouTube before, but I don't remember if I actually ever did a reaction to any one of their videos. I'm trying to remember how the name is pronounced. I think it's Schaffrillas. Now, the reason he asked me to do this specific reaction video, is because there was an accident that happened with Schaffrillas, and he was actually injured in a car accident, and I actually hope I'm saying this right, because I'm not very good with, like, memory and stuff. I mean, occasionally I'm good with memory, but not as much. So, he actually wanted me, well, my good friend Mal wanted me to react to I don't know if it's a more recent video or older video, I'm not entirely sure. But he wanted me to react to a certain video on Schaffrillas' review on the game LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga. And yeah, we all know about the LEGO games and LEGO Star Wars in particular. So, not else much I can say, but let's actually just get the video started and actually hope that Schaffrillas makes a complete recovery from his car incident, or his car accident. I can't even talk today. Well, that is definitely not a great way to start this video off. Him letting us know that the audio is a little bit off. Well, that can be great, but I'm sure we'll, get through the video fine, and the audio will be just fine for this video. The quality, though, man. Oh, boy. But anyway, we're not going to waste any time and just jump right in. So, without further ado, let's take a look at Schaffrillas' review on LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga. I can't really read the title as much, but let's just get to it. So, start the video in 3, 2, 1, let's go. Honestly, it's been way too long since I played LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga. Or for that matter, any LEGO game.
Start this off with a bit of gaming trivia.
Yeah, he had the character from Moana,
that is related to games.
Tamatoa, I think his name was.
From an early age, I was really fascinated with video games every time I saw my friends playing them. But my mom didn't like them, so we never owned any gaming consoles. But then this fancy pants new system called the Wii promised an immersive gaming experience that allowed the user to kind of.
I keep forgetting that Wii Sports was like the Wii launch title.
So at the age of 10, I owned my first console, the Wii. My brother and I played Wii Sports and made Mii's non-stop for 2 months, and it never got old.
Basically just making Family Guy characters.
Hey, how about we go buy another game? And I was like, wait, we can own other games? So we went to Walmart to go buy our second ever video game. And there was one game my brother and I wanted more than anything else in the history of ever. LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga.
Oh yeah.
We loved the Legos and
at one point or another, people wanted this game badly. For the Wii, though, I'm not entirely sure.
We played it to death. Granted, we were stuck on the first level of Return of the Jedi for like 2 years because we didn't realize we had to stand in front of those panels and shoot the Ijijadipuka droids. Yeah, that guy. Also, I'm pretty sure we were stuck on the first levels of Attack of the Clones and Empire.
That was always my favorite moment from the movie. Well, from Return of the Jedi specifically.
And A New Hope for the first 3 months or so, honestly. But the crazy thing is that I've replayed this game over and over with my brother, and it still holds up. It's not nostalgia, trust me. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, that was my third game. It sucks. It's so bad.
Wow.
But LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga is a masterpiece.
It is really sad that Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games doesn't get much love.
If we're being totally honest, the perfect video game adaptation of these movies. But how? How is that possible? How is this licensed game made for babies one of the best examples of how to properly adapt a film franchise into a new format? Are adaptations based on movies really that bad? Yes. Yes, they are. Okay, enough dilly-dallying. Here's how LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga is a perfect adaptation. Oh, also, since I replayed this game with my brother in order to review it and stuff, I figured I'd bring him in for this vid. Why not? This is
okay.
Also known as Pappy G.
Yeah, Mal did say that this introduced his...
coming at you all for the first time. Unless you're an ancient Schaffrillas fan who's been here since we did live action stuff. or unless you watch Shiny Cast, which is a thing that exists, but that's enough cross-promotion. Let's talk about the beloved crossover between LEGO and Star Wars. Am I right, James?
Yeah, we don't really go by first names here. It alienates the audience. Okay, let's talk now. Adapting stuff is super tricky. You have to have a rock-solid understanding of the work you're adapting, but you also have to have an understanding of the medium you're converting that work into. Now, there have been some great licensed games over the years.
I technically wanted to forget that that movie existed.
The Arkham series, Spider-Man, and so on and so forth. But here's the thing. These are licensed games based on pre-existing characters, but they're not direct adaptations. They're original stories, whether having their own separate continuities compared to any previous work featuring the character, or just being playable escapades of characters you love. LEGO Star
Or
Wars
basically at the time, just rip off
adapting the
GTA.
plots of 6 Star Wars movies into a playable form, all the while combining them with the quirky, tongue-in-cheek universe of LEGO. Most of the acclaimed Star Wars games aren't direct adaptations. They can sort of do their own thing. But this game works around the restraints of its identity as a lighthearted co-op
shoot, I forgot the name of it.
and turns its setbacks into creative, positive.
But we are getting a sequel to that game, actually.
Implementation is handled so well in this game. Every level requires at least 2 characters, even if their respective movie scenes didn't have 2 characters. Some movies, like The Phantom Menace, sidestep this issue due to having built-in pairs, like Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan always being together. You can be a Jedi, and your friend could be a Jedi. Now ain't that just the bee's knees? Other levels, like Cloud City Trap or Discovery on Camino, are based on portions of the movies where a character is alone. Luke doesn't have a
Yeah, that was always weird to me, where they didn't have a single companion with them.
Astromech droids. They accompany their
just have the droids play along.
missions, so why don't they just join them during the actual fight?
I mean, I think there was a point where you could actually use R2's like little stun thing to stun Darth Vader.
From flying to distant ledges, to closing switches and preventing enemies from spawning, to activating gigantic guns and firing at Slave
I mean, that was the cool part of that boss fight.
Levels and boss fights a lot more fresh and dynamic than just lightsaber slash 20 times.
And these character additions in the levels don't change the flow of the story at all. It still gives you all the iconic confrontations and moments you expect to see during the cutscenes. Look at Jabba's palace, for instance. You're required to put on bounty hunter helmets to fool security doors. Luke, Leia, and Chewie can all do this, even though Chewie has like the worst disguise ever. How does this even work?
It just
Not really the best disguise for Chewie.
Palace, and at the end of the level, you find Han frozen in carbonite next to a
But
bounty
somehow
hunter.
it
Luke,
works.
Leia and Chewie can all activate it, but no matter who you pick, it's Leia in the cutscene rescuing Han, because that's how the movie goes. This is how the game expertly adapts the scenarios present in the original film. Leia rescues Han in the movie while disguised as a bounty hunter. The game expands on this concept by implementing it into gameplay, allowing for more creativity in the process.
I mean, also, let's not forget that there are some Stormtrooper ones too, and Luke, Leia, and Han and Chewie can also put those disguises on.
Girl, he owns it.
Even though
It works because he
they
makes it
don't
work.
fit on Chewie's head.
That's what this game does best. It mixes the narrative concepts of Star Wars with the wackiness of LEGO. However, it doesn't stray away from accurately reflecting important story bits. This level does take a slight creative license with the story, though, going back to the whole 2-player co-op implementation. Instead of just Luke getting thrown into the Rancor pit, it's everybody. Ultimately, it has no bearing on
Wow,
the
really?
story. The point is that the Rancor dies and the fat man cries. But now, there can be
I mean, no sad, chubby man, like, crying for the Rancor in the game, but
Guards, which is a reference to the original film. Amazing!
So yeah, overall, the story is consistent with how it plays out in the 2 trilogies, and that's part of what makes these games such a success. Did you play Lego Indiana Jones 2?
oh yeah. Well, look what happens. You get a subpar, terrible 4th installment to the Indiana Jones franchise, your second Lego game's gonna do bad. I never played the second game, but I heard it really got, like, bad reviews. Also, I did look up the name of the game, of the Star Wars game that I forgot. It was Jedi Fallen Order. And yes, we are getting a sequel to it, and I'm very excited for that. But yeah, I loved playing the first Lego Indiana Jones game.
Perfectly
It was
good
surprisingly
Indiana
fun.
Jones adaptation with the first game.
Don't know if
Then
I would ever
watched
play the
Crystal
second
Skull in
one.
preparation for the second game, and it melted their brains.
Oh,
now, every movie
yikes.
story ends with a giant
Huh?
supernatural boss battle. What? Why? Guess what's inside the Ark of the Covenant? No, really. Go on. Guess. It's a disco ball, obviously. But this isn't your average everyday disco ball. This is a disco ball that turns Belloc into
that's
a
just
giant
them getting too
electric monster.
ridiculous.
Or how about when Donovan drinks the fake grail and turns into a giant tornado demon? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you out of your mind?
That was literally just Lego just
it's like YouTube
going way too ahead of themselves.
The problem with this game is that they went so far from the original storyline. Exactly.
Yeah.
This is how you do an adaptation poorly. It goes too far into wacky
Get some
nonsense
stuff out of my
while only
eye.
retaining a bare skeleton of the original movie's plots. Also, you know that whole co-op rule? You need 2 characters to control? Well, this one Crystal Skull level, based on the beginning of the movie where Indy's alone, pairs him up with a janitor. Just some random janitor
I'm sorry,
they
what?
invented for the level.
A janitor? A fucking janitor!
Okay, so you get the point.
Okay.
Good adaptation? Bad adaptation. Okay, sorry, one more thing. I forgot about this. There's literally a level where a bunch of ants form into a giant man. An ant man, if you will. Okay,
That's
but
a
the
little
real sad thing is that
creative
I couldn't remember
for a
if this
boss
was in the
fight.
movie or not. I had to go back and check. It wasn't, but honestly, I wouldn't put it past
They
me
did
as well.
eat a man,
okay,
though.
let's talk about good game again. Lego Star Wars: The
Hold
Complete
on.
Saga pays such great homage
Get rid of
to
that.
the original film.
Oh, there was a lag there for a second, guys. I don't know why.
Some sort of ability once, chances are it's in the game. Blaster wielders can grapple, which you'd think was taken from this iconic scene in A New Hope where Luke and Leia cross the Death Star chasm. But no, it's actually taken from this pointless scene in
Yeah, it was only used once. And it was in The Phantom Menace.
If George Lucas had said, actually, let's just let them take the stairs, it'll be easier. It's like poetry, sort of, and it's stylistically designed to be that way, and we can't undo that.
Plus, I
So
think
we
if they
can
took the
diminish effects of
stairs,
that. If he had said
the
that,
entire
we
war
wouldn't
would have been
had this
over by
ability
the
in
time
game.
they got up
What else
them.
is there? Well, you know that time Jar Jar jumps really high? Well, that's a thing in the game now. High jumpers are a thing, and it's all thanks to
Yeah,
this
but Jar Jar
random,
is still,
seemingly
honestly, the
pointless
worst
scene.
character in
Bounty
that
hunters have
game,
thermal
'cause he
detonators
can't
which can
fight.
destroy shiny metallic objects. A pretty key ability for finding secrets. All because Leia threatened to use it in one scene while disguised as a bounty hunter. So in this brickified version of Star Wars, that's the bounty hunter device.
And apparently he
Archer
can blow
fly
people up,
and chase
too.
people, except now he could do them in any movie. Fly across Dagobah, R2. It's what you were born to do. Oh, and Stormtrooper helmets that fool door panels. It's a concept rooted in that good old original movie expanded into gameplay. Like the bounty hunter helmets I mentioned earlier. You see the helmet dispenser? You see the panel? You're like,
Can't be that easy.
in addition to abilities, there are so many little character Easter eggs. Instead of slapping them, Chewie rips Stormtroopers' arms off. Wookiees are known to do that. Playing as Lando and pressing the attack button towards Leia will cause him to get all romantic, and she's like, nah, bruh. The Kaminoans have the ability to dance. Just because. Okay, that wasn't in the original.
It's a
movie,
thing!
but the fact that
It's a thing in this game.
Character stuff is great, but you know what's even better? The settings. It's scary how accurate this shit is to the original films. Like, hell yeah,
A lot of the
man,
worlds
that's
in this
a
game were
factory.
very
That's a
accurate to the
Death
places in the
Star.
movie.
That's a Death Star blowy up hole. That's a Death Star blowy uppy hole. Again, every iconic moment you could ever ask for is perfectly recreated in either a cutscene or gameplay.
Oh, jeez.
And there's even some amazing subtle stuff you may not have even noticed. For example, in A New Hope, Obi-Wan tells Luke, you'll have to sell your land speeder. Well, in the Mos Eisley level, you can actually take your land speeder
I
to
never
a
actually
secret
knew
area
that.
where a Jawa walks up to it and drops a bunch of studs for you to collect. You just sold your land speeder. Look look at that! So many little details like that are scattered all throughout the game, and it's incredibly rewarding to find
Oh
out.
yeah,
As
the
a side
cave
note, I
worm
love how you
thing.
can just take the money from the Jawa and then immediately kill him before he...
Well, you don't have to sell your
It's
speeder
also
now.
great how the levels are consistently fun, with no real filler narratively or gameplay-wise, except Gunship Cavalry, that level's stupid. But seriously, compare this game to LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens, where they had to stretch one movie out into a full game. Unsuccessfully. They tried their best, for sure.
Well, now it's a
but did
complete
we
thing
need
in
a
the
level
Skywalker
dedicated to
saga.
preparing to go to Starkiller Base and collecting Wookiee cookies? The complete saga doesn't do you dirty like that. There are no boring Coruscant levels in Phantom Menace, no awful-ass love story levels in Attack of the Clones, no terrible Gungan versus droid levels. What I'm trying to say is that this game is
Yeah, that
infinitely
fight is
better
just
than
mostly
episodes 1 and
relegated
2.
to a
Like, for the
cutscene.
first time I can actually enjoy the story of these movies, because it's presented in a fun format without awkward, terrible dialogue. Boy, I sure hope they add grunting back into the Skywalker saga.
Oh
There's
boy.
something so charming and timeless about all these brick-built characters having to reenact the story of Star Wars without any words. This leads to hilarious workarounds to explain what's going on. An obvious example would be how Vader makes it clear to Luke who his parents are by showing him a picture of Anakin and a pregnant Padme, pointing to the baby bump and then pointing back to Luke like,
That's right, I scored with Natalie Portman. That's
Oh gosh,
However,
why?
making light of classic scenes isn't the only way to make jokes. Think about Obi-Wan from The Phantom Menace. He's not the handsome, bearded quipster we see in
Hello there.
episodes 2 and 3. He's just some guy who's along for the ride for Qui-Gon and Jar Jar's story, with absolutely no personality or stake in the plot. But in the LEGO retelling of the story, Obi-Wan naturally has to be a part of the plot more because of the co-op implementation in the game, and because no little brother wants to be stuck playing as Jar
Oh
Jar.
yeah.
Unfortunately, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan as a dynamic duo doesn't present
Oh,
many
whoa, what the
opportunities for
heck was
jokes.
that all
Both
about?
characters are just boring men,
That is some
and you can't
weird,
tell jokes
weird
from
lagging
dialogue.
going
You're
on.
right about one thing, Master. The negotiations were short.
You cheeky bastard.
So, what do? Simple. Rewrite Obi-Wan to be a rash, energetic...
Yeah, they
goofball
kind of do
who tries
make...
to look all cool
Well,
and
considering
sneaking on
he's
the
basically
MTV,
still a
he has
Padawan
trouble
at this
turning
point
his
in the
lightsaber.
first, like,
He
prequel
stomps down
movie.
on an already defeated battle droid. His personality is made clear without any words. And what's better, he has a personality. This depiction of Obi-Wan as a Padawan matches up perfectly to how reckless Obi-Wan alludes he was to Yoda in Empire. It's brilliant.
Oh yeah. The comedy in the later LEGO games. More specifically ones that are based on different movie properties like Jurassic Park and all that. Yeah, this... I mean, to be fair, a lot of the comedy in the later LEGO Star Wars games, specifically Skywalker Saga, some of it is funny, but a lot of it is just not that great. I guess at some point you do just miss, like, when the characters just grunted and not had actual dialogue from the movies. That probably was just the fun part, because you could just... They just made so many funny noises, especially Luke. One in particular just being like, hey, or something like that. I don't know.
Rather than make visual gags. But the jokes they make tend to fall flat. Nostalgia isn't the only reason we want the grunting back. Minifigures aren't meant to talk. We play with them and imagine what they say.
Oh yeah, we all remember when they started doing like little LEGO Star Wars fan films. There were a few that I've been trying to find on YouTube that I love so much. I remember watching all the time back in middle school.
Complete Saga knows when to be serious. Compare this game's version of Anakin's death next to the LEGO Force Awakens version. Maybe you like the newer version. Maybe you like the comedy in the modern.
Oh, come on, Imperial Guards! Don't cry!
And all that, but I speak for many when I say that the grunts must not be lost to history. We want grunts.
But yeah, that's the real miracle of LEGO Star Wars. As someone who vastly prefers the original trilogy over the prequels, I still derive an equal amount of enjoyment from the prequel levels as I do the original trilogy levels. This game is the great equalizer. The one thing that makes all Star Wars stories equally fun and compelling. It's further proof that George Lucas made a really fun, exciting universe.
But even then, in the complete saga, they get rid of some grunts for some
Next
reason.
up on our agenda is the crossover aspect, baby.
Oh
Game
boy.
lets you play as this many iconic characters, allowing for dream matchups
Was that
you never thought you'd
Indiana
see.
Jones on the bottom?
Okay, but does that game have Gonk Droid? I didn't think so.
This game has an all-star group of classic
That will never
characters
happen,
and
sadly.
faces making up its roster of 120.
But they might put Gonk Droid in freaking Fortnite because there are so many characters in Fortnite now.
Padme, Maul, and Wicket are joined by the likes of PK Droid, Forlom, R2Q5, Luminara, Lobot, Imperial Spy,
Yeah.
and Disguised Clone.
So many
Those are all
characters
just
in this game, I
characters in the
remember.
base roster. There are secret characters you can play as in certain levels by purchasing the extra
Some
toggle.
weird secret characters,
Have you ever
apparently.
wanted to live life as a Womp Rat? Have you ever wanted to be the mouse
Oh,
droid
yeah, the
that
little mouse
rolls away
droid.
from growling Wookiees at super speeds? Have you ever wanted to know what it's like to be trapped in a block of carbonite? Have you ever wanted
Even though
to
most
not
of them
live?
don't
At the
really
same time,
attack.
never be really gone.
Oh, okay.
The roster of characters perfectly balances fan service and wacky additions. But we can please even more fans while simultaneously getting weirder with the custom characters.
This was always my favorite thing to do on any Lego game. Making custom characters.
Original characters. Or self-insert yourself as a Jedi. You want to make a Sith Lord battle droid with an afro? Then you go for it. Because the choice is
Yours, my friend.
your choice doesn't have to be an original creation if you want. There are certain characters in the game like Evazan and Ponda Baba that are not playable, but all their pieces are able to be used in the character creation.
Yeah, so you can put them
allowing
in the
for
game,
perfect
basically.
creations that you can play as. Finally, my dream of playing as Ted Nub in a video game is fulfilled! You can even make iconic characters that aren't even in the game. All these Shock T parts allow me to make a pretty good Ahsoka, and by taking
That is
the head of
surprising.
one medical droid and putting Indy's fedora on top of it, you have yourself a pretty nifty Cad Bane recreation. Now, you're thinking, rewind, Pappy. Did you just say Indy's fedora?
Yeah.
And to that I say, yes. Yes, I did. Indiana Jones is in the game. Just go into the bonus room.
That
to watch the
is
trailer for Lego Indiana
very,
Jones, and voila! That bit of
very
cross
weird.
promotion just unlocked Indy for purchase. He shoots bullets instead of blaster bolts, and instead of slapping or punching people, he uses his whip. Feel free to take this.
At this point, they literally wanted to get to promote Lego Indiana Jones that quick when this game came out.
Allowing these characters from across the different films to find themselves in unexpected settings. It's present from the moment you boot up the game and get greeted by the icons of these icons, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. But instead of being in a location that makes sense to see them in, like Naboo or the Trade Federation ship, they're in the Mos Eisley Cantina. Right off the bat,
Just hanging out in the
the game suggests
cantina,
that
starting
any
brawls.
combination of character and setting you can dream up is possible. It helps that the levels are so accurate to the source material and really make you feel like a Star Warrior. If you want to stick Bib Fortuna inside the giant purple energy things from the end of Phantom Menace, nothing's stopping you. If you want to fight Darth Vader in Cloud
Okay.
City using Dexter Jetster, it's going to be a little hard since he has no weapons, but sure, give it your best shot. The possibilities are only limited by your imagination. And that's what this game is all about. Imagination. Patrick and I used to make our own stories where we played as certain characters in certain...
I have honestly been wanting to do that with this game so much.
Except here we could see our stories come to life. It's a pretty magical experience.
It's almost as magical as the sound that's made when a new character is unlocked, or when mini-kit parts slam together, or when you're granted the rank of true Jedi. Wow, I just realized something. This game has really good
Yeah,
sound design.
the sounds in the
Also,
game,
there's
even for like a
lot of
PlayStation exclusive game.
Naturally,
Oh,
the game that
yeah.
compiles 6 movies together is going to
This
have a
is the one
happy
thing that I
Each
forgot
movie is
that I
split up
could
into
do a
6
lot of.
levels or chapters that
And
focus on
typically,
different portions
I
of the
try to
narrative.
collect as much studs as I can when it comes to playing this
There's a grand
game.
total of 36 story levels, which is quite a lot when considering the length of some of these levels. The shortest and easiest levels in the game tend to be found on the prequel side of things, especially in Phantom Menace. And that all makes perfect sense. World 1 is the tutorial world that teaches you the mechanics of Jedi, droids, and blaster characters, culminating with Retake Theed Palace.
Yeah.
This is a level that takes everything you've been taught and puts it all together.
You know, before the final boss fight in this movie with Darth
Continuing
Maul.
this mindset, World 6, Return of the Jedi, is the final world that can feel free to pull no punches right from the very start.
There was
Jabba's
some
palace is
really
a
bad
never-ending
lagging
battle of
going on
Gamorreans
there.
teaming up on you while you try to do block-pushing puzzles. It's very challenging to stay alive, but most people wouldn't see this as a difficult task since you instantly respawn. Yeah, any pretense of difficulty kind of goes out the window when there's no detriment to dying. This is why LEGO games are never really considered to be hard.
Yeah, that probably was like my biggest gripe with the game at the time when I played it. I mean, don't get me wrong, the game is fun, but it's really, really easy to get through. Well, I mean, except the later stages where you get sent back a little bit from when I played it, you get sent back a lot of ways from where you didn't have a checkpoint saved. And now I realize that, yeah, you can lose a lot of studs, so it's a lot harder to get true Jedi, basically. That made me think about that for a while. I'm guessing, like, there is a way you could play it where if you lose all your studs, you would have to completely restart the whole game to try to get true Jedi. I guess that would be, like, if I played the game again like that, that probably would be what I would do.
LEGO Star Wars is not a hard game to beat, but it sure is a tricky game when it comes to completing it. I find that LEGO Star Wars is similar to Kirby's Epic Yarn when it comes to difficulty.
I think I remember playing maybe a little bit of Kirby's Epic Yarn.
It's true.
Not getting very
especially
far,
one
mind you,
challenge
but
to get
still.
the credits. But most people who say the game is too easy clearly have not tried to get a gold rank on Boom Boatyard. Not that they'd even reach Boom Boatyard because they haven't even been
Oh, jeez.
Go flying out every time you get hit or fall down a pit.
Whoa, okay.
Boom Boatyard.
Think you went a little overboard there, bud.
Anyway, the point is that Kirby's Epic Yarn is a hard game to 100% complete. If you care about having the money to buy furniture or unlocking every level, then you need to collect lots and lots of
Oh, yeah.
Suddenly, dying or getting hit is threatening because you'll lose a ton of the cash you've been raking in. It's not even mentioning the fact that some of the 3 collectibles...
So it's pretty much like the studs in LEGO Star Wars. You need every single last stud to get a perfect run for it.
Just like Kirby's Epic Yarn in this regard, except multiplied by 66.
Dying in this game is a
gosh.
big no-no, because every time you lose all your hearts or fall
Yeah,
in a pit, a
but
large
you can
chunk
still
of
pick
studs
them
will
back
fall
up.
out of you. Studs are the currency of this LEGO galaxy, and you'll need several thousand of them if you want to buy all the characters.
Oh yeah, and then there's also that
Beyond
to get
you're greater in
every single
level by
character
how
in the
many studs
game.
you've collected. That bar at the top of the screen that looks like multiple studs stacked together will fill with each stud you collect. Once the bar is filled 100%, you are deemed a true Jedi. It's
Jeez.
kind of weird to get called that whenever you're not playing as a Jedi, but whatever. For every bar of studs you fill, you get a gold brick.
Oh,
Gold
I
bricks
forgot
are the
about
most
the
important
gold
collectible in the
bricks.
game. They are what all other collectibles inevitably lead to. There's a few outliers to this rule, but
I wonder if he's actually gonna,
There's
if they're gonna talk about the
160
mini
gold
kits
bricks
in this
total.
game,
Sounds like
because
a lot,
oh boy,
but
I have been
actually get one
trying
for every
so
chapter.
hard to
Combine
find
that with
every
the gold
single
brick
mini
you
kit
get
in
for
LEGO
achieving
Star
Jedi in
Wars.
every level, and that's
Or in
nearly
any
half
other
of
LEGO
it.
game that I
Where,
play.
oh, where could the remaining half of the bricks be located? Well, you can always buy some at the shop, which requires even more studs, so...
But yeah, they cost a lot.
Alternatively, you can go hunting for the most memorable collectible that shaped a generation. The mini kit.
Mini kits are the most abundant collectible. What, with there being 200 more mini kits than there are gold bricks? It's a lot. There are 10 mini kits hidden in each level. Some may be in plain sight, but you may or may not be able to reach them. While some mini-kits are obtainable in story mode, most can only be accessed in free play due to the fact that
Yeah, so
some
basically
areas
just
and mini-kits
unlock the
require
characters you
abilities
need
of
to
certain
get in
characters
order to
you
get
won't have
the
access
mini
to.
kits
For
in the
instance,
free play
if
mode.
you're only using Jedi in the main story, you won't be able to grapple because you have no blaster characters. I mean, that doesn't really matter if you have Force Grapple Leap. Wait a
I mean,
second.
yeah, there
I
is
didn't even
that.
talk about the extras yet. Extras are awesome. They're basically like hacks to the game that are incorporated into the base game itself. They come in many different forms and vary in utility. I already mentioned.
Yeah, I remember
the extra
seeing that and not
extra
having like
toggle
enough
before,
studs
which
to
allows
buy
you to
all
be able
those
to use the
extras.
secret characters in free play, but that's just one of the starting extras that are available at the shop when you first make a new save file. Other starter extras include mostly cosmetic stuff, like giving every character a disguise, or making
Oh,
Chewbacca
gosh.
carry C-3PO on his back like he did at the end of Empire.
The best extras in the game are unlocked by collecting what are quite possibly the most well-known kind of LEGO piece in existence, the red brick. On top of there being
Oh,
10 mini-kits in
yeah.
each chapter, there is
Forgot
a
about the
single
red brick.
hidden in each level. Each red brick unlocks a specific extra for purchase.
I mentioned Force Grapple Leap, but you can further augment characters. Extras are a pathway to many abilities, some consider to be
Unnatural.
Darkseid is the perfect example. This extra turns all lightsabers red, and it gives every Jedi the ability to
Oh,
use
wow.
the Force on objects that were previously only able to be manipulated by the Sith. The extra self-destruct allows nearly any droid to explode on command. You don't even lose studs for
Okay.
using it. That's nuts. Speaking of studs, has this ever happened to you? Too many things to buy, not enough studs to go around. Well, I'm offering a solution. Introducing the score multipliers. These extras are very expensive, but you will pretty much get your money back immediately.
Oh,
Guaranteed. One
jeez.
last extra I have to mention is the extra that makes a living legend all the more legendary. I presume that most of you are familiar with Gunk Droid.
Oh my gosh, I forgot.
Have you had the pleasure of meeting Super Gunk?
Super Gonk.
The developers had to have known.
So apparently
the physical
Super
impact
Gong
that
can
Gunk
deflect
Droid
laser
had on
blasts.
Humanity. I am so elated that this blessing to mankind has been given the respect they deserve by the game that shot them into stardom in the first place.
Basically, the more extras you have, the easier the hunt for mini-kits becomes. Side note,
Oh
what
jeez,
exactly
the
is
Jedi
a
with a
mini-kit?
purple
Oh, well,
lightsaber
I
just
guess
still
it
dealing with a
does
bunch of
the most rare
droids.
find in the Star Wars universe, and I wouldn't trade it.
I knew they were gonna have to get to this at some
However,
point.
the most important question is not
The mini-kits.
What does a mini-kit do? Well, each of the 10 mini-kits on a level go to creating a miniature version of a Star Wars vehicle.
Yeah, it's the
Once
only
completed,
way you
they
can get-
blow it up, providing you with massive amounts of studs and a gold brick. Don't worry if you're someone who actually wanted to look at the ship you built, because all your completed and uncompleted ships are viewable outside the cantina.
With enough gold bricks, you could build entrances to 6 different bonus levels. They include levels that range from portraying events that you don't play through in the main story, like Anakin's destruction of the Trade Federation Donut Control Ship, all the way to collecting 1 million studs as fast as possible in Lego City. It is utterly bonkers how much content is in this game. We still
Apparently
haven't
Lego
gotten
Star
through
Wars was one of the
everything,
first
even
things
though
to
this
introduce
part
Lego
goes
City.
for 4 pages.
Surprising.
Bounty hunter missions, levels that allow you to pilot the mini-kit vehicles you made, a 2-player arcade mode, and there's still more to cover. This game doesn't end once you've beaten all the movies. That's when the real game begins. Go play this game if you haven't already. And if you have already, well, go play it again. It's filled with more content and fun than most games released today.
Anyway, let's circle back to the adaptation side of things. How does the complete saga...
Okay, well that is a little funny. Probably could have come up with a clever title there, Pat. Just saying. But now if they're talking about certain like final levels maybe, or just 2 levels in general that are actually fun, one in particular that I think is fun, and that's from Revenge of the Sith, basically, and that's the Anakin duel. Because it doesn't start out as like a boss battle, because it still has you like you know,
Earlier
completing
on,
the
I talked
level,
about
like,
creative
co-op
liberties
wise.
taken with levels, like
I mean, I don't know if that's what they're going to talk about, but let's see what happens if they do talk about that level.
Serve to enhance the gameplay, which makes them worthwhile, successful adaptation changes, considering we're dealing with a co-op video game. But now it's finally time to talk about 2 co-op implementations so genius and effective that they make for 2 of the best levels in the entire game. First up, Return of the Jedi. This movie concludes with an epic duel.
Oh
between
yeah,
Vader and
the
Luke.
final
Oh,
boss
the
of
Emperor
the
goes
original
them all.
trilogy.
Okay, so it's a one-on-one. How do you adapt that? Simple. You reconsider who the true villain is. The Emperor. Wait, no, I got an idea. You reconsider who the true enemy is.
Oh, jeez.
The Emperor. Ultimately, this scene concluded with Vader
Yeah, because I think, if I remember, it doesn't start off with Luke and Vader facing each other.
He died right there. He's dead forever, okay? The game ultimately ends the same way, but it is a game, so it only makes sense to add the only logical final boss.
But yeah, immediately Vader...
Play as Vader and Luke.
Now
in an
here,
epic
that's where I
climactic
think
battle with
Vader
Palpatine,
turned
who has
back to the good
18
side,
hearts.
the
Most
light side of the
bosses
Force
in this game
too
have, like,
quickly.
4. With Palpatine's theme blaring throughout the expertly reconstructed Death Star throne room, you square up for a multi-phase final battle. It's pretty simple. This is a Lego
You
game
mostly
after
just
all,
gotta
but it
spam
just
the
feels like
down
a
smash
perfect
attack to
narrative
actually deal
conclusion.
damage
Even
to
if it
the
does stray from
boss.
the movie a bit, it services the medium.
Or occasionally you can get lucky and hit them with your regular lightsaber swings, but still, the best way to do is just the downward slash.
Death Star is the final level, but narratively speaking, Palpatine's defeat is the climax and you know it. So yeah, this level is really cool, but it's not the best level in the game. This is Darth
Oh jeez.
Vader. Anyone who's
Yeah,
played this game
I
knows
forgot
exactly
that
what makes
the
this
final
level so
chapter of
special.
Revenge of the
It's
Sith
based
was
on the
called Darth
Obi-Wan
Vader.
Anakin duel from Revenge of the Sith.
But yeah, this is
How do you
probably one of my
find a
favorite
killer
levels in the
into a
game,
co-op level?
because
Simple. You
it
try
doesn't
and
just
survive
start
these
off as like a
collapsing
boss
lava
battle
spiders as best
until you
can.
get to the end of the
Basically, you're
stage,
cooperating
because
for
it's
the
still like a
chance to
co-op
kill
level
each other. And
while
it's a dueling
you're
challenge,
fighting
especially for a
Anakin.
game as otherwise easy as this.
This honestly is more realistic than the actual movie. Like, if it's raining lava and you have to swing like Tarzan on ropes attached to a structure falling down a lava fall, I think trying to bop each other with a lightsaber should not be your main priority.
You keep using the Force and platforming.
I also think at some point, Anakin's lightsaber changes to red. Well, I mean in the
And
cutscenes.
now, there's nothing left to do but fight each other until someone wins. You and your friend are now each other's boss battle, just like how Obi-Wan and Anakin were friends. Again, it's like poetry.
There may not be any high ground in this version, but that's only because, if there was, it wouldn't be a fair fight. He who has the high ground rules the galaxy by default, unless you're Darth Maul. Your
Jeez.
final destination is a 1v1 duel on a flat plane with no more obstacles or sort of items getting in your way. I mean, parts of the ground do sink.
Yeah, that does
if
happen.
you take too long, so I guess someone forgot to turn off hazards.
Again, I couldn't have
Yeah.
asked for a better way to adapt this duel into a co-op.
Oh yeah!
In fact,
There's actually
growing
an
up,
alternate
I just
ending you
straight
can
up
get with that
couldn't
boss
ask for a
fight.
better co-op.
You know, before Revenge
Lego
of the
Star Wars
Sith
is
for the
just such a
PlayStation
magical
2.
Experience, taking everything we love about the Star Wars saga and perfectly molding it into this fun Lego journey. It's unbelievably fun, even as an adult. Trust me, I don't really let nostalgia cloud my judgment. I legitimately still love this game.
I completely agree with that point, so much so that I don't even know what else there is for me to say, except I truly
Oh my gosh.
love
You
it.
did not
Here's
just
hoping
do
the
that.
Skywalker saga can recapture even an ounce of the same magic.
Not
present
really
in
so
this
much.
Magnificent, iconic, all-time classic. And now to conclude this video the only way we know how. Ranking every single
No!
Death Star in the game.
Oh my gosh. Well, that is definitely one way to end off a Lego video or a Lego-based video game review video. Oh man, the death sound effects in Lego Star Wars. It's really funny that, like, literally some of the death sound effects for the characters are straight from the movie. It's surprising. But yeah. I think, honestly, my personal favorite death sounds from that game are Yoda's, which is the best one you can ask for in a Lego game. And probably one of the Rebel Soldiers, which their death sound is just basically like, whoa! It's just so funny. Or, you know, they actually could have had in the list of the death sounds that the two guards made in Phantom Menace. When they just look down, they're like, Wah! Or something like that. But yeah. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell to never miss a video. And also, again, hope Schaffrillas, or however his name is pronounced. Again, I'm bad with names, but I really do hope that he recovers from the car accident that he had, and I hope he's doing okay and, you know, still living a normal, happy life. You know, one that we all need, just a normal, happy life. Can't ask for that in 2023, though, surprisingly. Anyway, with that, I will see you awesome guys and gals later.